Welcome back, everybody. I just wanted to do a little video here to show you what I've been up to lately here in the garage. It's been cold, it's been wet, it's been just pretty nasty, so it's pretty nice to be inside working on a project. If you watched my video the last time, I made some jack stand modification with some pads on them, and I'm actually have them in use right now. As you can see here behind me, I got the 38 Chevy street rod up on them right now. And I got the front wheels pulled off, and I'm going to show you why I have the front wheels pulled off. Now that we're under here, I can show you a little bit better what I've been up to. See the blue shock right there? Those are brand new. This is a Mustang 2 front end. It is very commonly used on many street rod cars, trucks. It works well with so many different makes and models. This car was built in 1992, so that's like what, 27 and 28 years old. Time is an enemy to any kind of a car or piece of equipment, and through time the shocks just go bad. It's not because it has a lot of miles on it. This car only has about 9,000 miles on it right now, but the last few years I've just been really going through this car and upgrading some things. You can see the brand new Flaming River rack and pinion there. Excellent rack and pinion. That was a long story on this project. It turned into a fiasco, but I went through a couple rack and pinions trying to get everything to work, and I just got fed up and went with the best, and I'm glad I did. It handles great. But I'm going to show you now how you can tell if your shock is bad. Here on the left is a front shock, and here on the right is a rear shock. How do you know they're bad? Well, this test will only work on a gas shock, by the way, nothing else. So when you push down on it, there's very little effort needed, and it stays compressed. A good one, like the new one that I just put on, it's a little bit stiffer to compress, and it pops right back up again. Same thing with the rear shock. Very little effort, and they both stay compressed. So that is why they needed replaced. I'm going to go ahead and throw the front wheels on here. I'm done in the front. I'm going to go to the back now for the main project of this video, and that is to change the gear oil in the differential. It's never been changed. Again, this car has low miles, so it's just I just want to go ahead and freshen everything up. It's sure not going to hurt anything. But I'm going to go ahead and take the rear wheels off, the brake drums, and then I'm going to take you underneath the car and explain why I have to take the rear wheels off of this if you're not familiar with a Ford rear end. Now that the wheel and the brake drum is off, we're going to go ahead and pull the axle shaft out. Now to do that, you notice these holes in the axle, in the hub I should say. This one's a little bit bigger for some reason, but there are 4 bolts behind there. It's kind of dark, you can't see, but there's 4 bolts, and there's a plate that help keep the axle in place. By putting a socket through there and rotating it around to get to all the nuts, you can loosen them up, and then with a little bit of persuasion from a hammer, tap that out, and the axle shaft will just slide right out. There is a axle seal. You can see it right here. It is leaking a little bit. I already ordered one before I even took this apart, because a few years ago on the other side, the driver's side, it was leaking. so I replaced it. I don't have to worry about that side, I don't think, but I'm definitely going to replace this while I have everything apart. It's not too bad, but it's only going to get worse. Now we're under the car, and you're probably wondering, if you're not familiar with these Ford rear ends, why did I have to pull the axle shafts on both sides? Well, the differential, as you see, is right here, this whole big thing. That's called a third member, hog head. It has a lot of names, so whatever you want to call it. It has to come completely off. All these nuts and studs that you see going the whole way around, that all comes off as one big piece, and it will not come off if the axles are into it. So they have to be pulled out so you can remove that whole thing. I'll first have to take the U-bolts off the drive shaft, drop the drive shaft, and that all comes out. This rear end does not have a drain plug. Now I guess later on in life they ended up putting them on in the bottom. Some people install them. I was going to, but I figure I'm not going to get into that. But anyway, the third member has to come out, and then we'll be able to see what's going on in there. Nothing's wrong, hopefully, but that's how you have to drain the oil. Why do they have this kind of style? It seems kind of dumb, in my opinion, but there are advantages to this. One, like if you were a racer, or somebody wants to change your gear ratios, you could pop these in and out really easy. Just get a whole third member, pull the axles, pop it in, and away you go. Another good thing is I've heard that they're a lot easier to rebuild. So I guess there's pros and cons with everything, but this is actually an 8-inch rear end. You normally have 8 or 9. I don't know if there's really a major difference. I know 8 can't hold as much horsepower as a 9. You know, just like anything, everybody has their opinions. You know, which is better, Ford or Chevy, John Deere, Farmall, whatever. But I'm going to go ahead and get busy and take all these nuts out. I've been tapping around with that chisel, as you saw. Now, if anybody watches my videos, you know I'm a tractor guy. I know a lot about cars, but this is my first time I ever did this, I'll be honest. So I'm having trouble getting it off. And so I went to a YouTube video, and I realized then, I couldn't even see it, there is actually a copper washer around that stud. And that is probably what is holding everything up. So I'm going to remove those and see if I have any more luck. It's starting to break free, as you can see. I got a lot of drippage there. But let me go ahead and do the tedious task of trying to get those washers off. Drained and we took everything out and cleaned it real good. You can take a good look at it here. One of the good things about taking this all apart is not only to change the oil, but you can also see what your gear ratio is. A lot of rear axles will have a tag on the outside or some kind of markings. This did not. We were always a little bit curious as to what it was, and the trick to doing that is take your ring gear and you count the teeth. There are 32, I marked it right there, 32 teeth, and then you count the teeth down in your pinion gear. There is 9, and what you do is you take this number and divide it by the number down there. So 32 divided by 9 comes out 3.55, so you have a 355 gear ratio in this Ford 8-inch rear axle. I'm going to go ahead and get everything ready. I got a brand new gasket to put around there, and we're getting ready to throw it back in. I just want to show you this housing real quick. I got it all shined up. There is no drain plugs in these, as I recall telling you before. A lot of people will drill a hole, tap it, and put a magnetic plug in. I was going to do that, but I just changed my mind. This isn't something that gets a lot of mileage or anything. Plus, I like to see what's going on in there if I change the oil. That's just me. A lot of people also will take one of these studs out. They're just pressed in there. You drive that out and weld a nut on the inside, and then you can use a bolt I don't like that idea for the simple fact is, you see there's a pretty big lip here, and if you get any moisture or gunk down in there, by draining that, it would all stay down in the bottom, it wouldn't come out. So that's even after I took that third member out, I was scooping it out with my hands. If you would do that, you'd still have all that old stuff still in there. Everything's back together, wheels are all on. It's still up on the jack stands. I got to take it down and put it back on the floor. But I'd love to take it for a test drive, but today is cold, wet, and rainy, and looks like it's going to have to wait until spring. But if you like what you've seen, comment, rate, and subscribe, and stay tuned for some future projects.